Welcome to the DEC4 podcast. You can access episodes, companion articles, research notes and links, as well as information about our contributors and supporters at DEC4podcast.com. Hope you enjoy the program. Introductions out of the way, and we're now sort of on the home stretch of the show. Gary, how do you see the show running to its conclusion?
Well, again, What Now My Love? It's amazing that these two performances are in the same concert. What Now My Love and Mickey Newberry's An American Trilogy. I got fascinated with Mickey and looked him up, and again, he wrote this song, and his original version was half a hit, kind of, but it's, again, in Presley's hands. Interesting, though, when you talk about Presley's cover versions, you can tell when he's a stone-cold fan of a version. Look at Love Letters. He recorded a couple of times. It's note for Kitty Callen's hit version. Even piano trills and whatnot. When he loved a song, he recorded it. Hurt by Timmy Euro, he recorded it just like the original. But then other times, look at You've Lost That Love and Feeling. He takes an original, finds the soul or the heart of it, and just blows it up 10 times. So Mickey Newberry's slight version, An American Trilogy, you could do a podcast on this one song. Fascinating that it can almost be an anthem of reconciliation in a way, because it contains, it's a medley, the Battle Hymn of the Republic, which was the marching song or the song of the Union Army during the Civil War. It's also Dixie, which was a Southern anthem favored in the South. And it got All My Trials in there, which is an African-American, it's a Negro spiritual, like a field song from back in the day. So the three aspects of American history are represented in the song, and they're melded together, which we could get deep into the weeds and say, you could point to this as an instance where Elvis is, bringing the country together almost. Sure, that wasn't his thing. That wasn't what he did. But look at this song from that standpoint. Now, that's just the song's construction and the lyric. The performance is utterly magnificent. It may be the single grandest moment of his whole career. And again, maybe you should look at these things like a child. When I was a kid and he sang the All My Trials part, when he sings All My Trials, Lord, will soon be over. I mean, we could get a little bit deep and dramatic and say the man only had 4 years left to live. I used to get really sad when he sang that. And because he's sweating so much, it looks like he's emotional or crying, and All My Trials will soon be over. And it's touching. And then we have another highlight performance that I think you've dug up some info on, this flute player in the band. What a moment for this man.
Yes, Gabe Baltazar Jr., born 1929, and as we record, he is still with us. Hard to imagine ever in the history of any kind of entertainment a musician being under any more pressure to get it right. And interestingly, in the rehearsal concert, I think he did make a little mistake. There is just a little off note when he did that in the rehearsal concert. On the big stage, he's absolutely impeccable. Now, yes, Gabe Baltazar Jr., he was a Korean War veteran, a sax player, as well as a flautist, played jazz. He played with a Stan Kenton orchestra, featuring on 17 LPs. Now, between 1965 and 69, he worked in Los Angeles, principally for NBC, which is interesting. He played on Pat Boone's programs, Phyllis Diller, Johnny Carson, but also Smothers Brothers and Glenn Campbell programming, which Marty Passetta had also involvement in. So I guess we can surmise that he was perhaps brought in especially for that particular moment, because we don't believe that he had prior connections with Joe Gershow or the Las Vegas scene that Joe Gershow came from. Now Gabe Baltazar returned to Hawaii in 1969 to become assistant director of the Royal Hawaiian Band. So at that point, he was a local Hawaiian musician, but really just a perfect performance, and he is rewarded, fittingly with that great close-up.
It is dramatic and it is emotional. Gabe finishes his solo. The orchestra is beginning to swell, and we see Elvis, who is dialed right in, and he is a fan at this moment. He is loving it. And maybe even subconsciously, he realizes that he is conquering the world at this moment. The band is swelling. I'm telling you, when the trumpets start blasting their glory, glory, hallelujah, you could be on the floor, George. This is a moment in Elvis's story that is just staggering. And he yells at them. He's urging them on. He's calling for them to blow, just like a jazz man would in a club. Like he's calling to them. And when he gestures to the stamps to come in, he points at them and he makes a mean face like, this is just perfect, he's saying to himself. He points to them. They come in with their glory, hallelujah. He turns to the stage, to the crowd, and when he finishes that song, everything is, do I have the words? When the final moments of that song is just everything that is cool, good, majestic, and grand about Elvis Presley is in that 4 minutes or whatever it is. When he finishes that, you are on the floor. It is a moment not only in Elvis world, but for the ages. So those 4.5 minutes, you could even pick it apart. His gestures, he is dialed in. It is absolutely magnificent.
Podcast terms and conditions can be found at our website, DEC4podcast.com. You can contact us there or on our social media. Find us on the major podcasting platforms, and we're also on Substack, Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram. This has been George Fairbrother. Thanks for listening.